Caring so much and overthinking for me is such a struggle, especially when I'm just like a naturally, I'm just naturally those things. Um, Naturally like care too much or overthink the smallest things. Um, Especially on the overthinking. And I feel like whenever you have such a habit or thing with you for so long, it just subconsciously and naturally happens. Um, and it sucks because it's something that I struggled with for so long with everything that even back to when I was in college, it can be a prompt and I can overthink the prompt. Like if I feel like it wasn't direct enough, I'm gonna overthink it. It can be the professor saying, hey, y'all got creative freedom, do what you want. Ah, for me, that's like such a chaotic mess and it's just crazy. Um, and it's detrimental. But it's life. And, some people are able to just not think too much or just not care. Me, I'm trying to get to that point of not caring so much so that way it's not as harmful to me. As for overthinking, I feel like when you also, I feel like when you feel deeply, when you empathize with damn near everything, or at least try to have some type of understanding of things, it's like, at least for me, can't help but to care so much. And overthinking, because I just self sabotage myself so much, it's just so easy to overthink everything down to like the things that I say, my own thought process. Um, Honestly, yeah. But, I wanna, even though I'm aware of those things, it's like I really just wanna get to a point where it's like I can stop the loop. The looping is like the most annoyingest part because it's like it's not like I asked for this to happen or to be like this, but here I am going along with it. I'm trying to find ways to manage it or whatever. Sometimes I feel like there can be benefits, maybe, to being an overthinker, or more so you just over analyzing things. But it just sucks 'cause at the end of the day, it's like, especially if you care too much, it's like, oh, now it's like you're setting yourself up and you're gonna get taken advantage of. And it's like, just having balance. Um, but you know, although there are things like overthinking and stuff where I would like what I would love to change, or more so like wish it wasn't as bad. A part of me appreciates it because I feel like at least when it comes down to my character, you know, one out of many other things is what makes me who I am. Um, and you know, also caring too much, maybe, also putting myself second, self sabotaging and putting others first. I'm working on, and it sucks, and it's not easy, but it's like so natural, and it comes so easily or natural to me. Even though it can damn near be a flaw, uh, it just sucks when it gets to that loop of constant like, what am I doing? Why am I thinking like this? Why are we thinking too much anyways? Why do we care so much? Just why? But um sometimes I just ignore the why, or at least try to, because it's like, what's the point? Especially if I know it's either going to happen again, or it's just gonna be it's just something that's just a part of me. No matter how much I want to change or whatever. But yeah, it's definitely something. And ever since I've graduated college, and the job market is crazy and just not good, there's just been moments, there's just been nothing but time and moments to think. And I'm sort of at that point now where it's like, well, I got nothing else to lose. Why not just go for the things that I want to do and actually care for? But, it just like there's ways around it. There's ways to ground myself. But man, sometimes I wonder and think about like, okay, what would it be like to not overthink? What would it be like to not think at all with certain things that I know just needs a regular surface level of thinking and not a deep dive, you know. But yeah, it's something I would genuinely like to work on because it would only cause more anxiety. And I know it's like, you know, I'm human, it's gonna take time or whatever, but it also depends on how much time I'm willing to give myself to actually work on it. And just keep trying. Uh but I just, even down to like the outcome of overthinking, depending on like what that context may be, at least for me, because like it can just lead to procrastinating. And during my academic times, it's like there's no time for procrastinating, but it can happen. But sometime, somewhere down the line during like senior year, it's when I sort of gave myself no time to overthink or more so to procrastinate, but just to get it done. And I feel like that's something I'm trying to get back to. I just hate how, at least in my situation, I feel like I had so much growth, so much exploration within myself being in college, and then coming back home, it's like I feel like I lost progress. And I gotta like regain it back and redo things and relearn or unlearn things. Um, and just, reteach myself my own ways now instead of someone else's. Um, it's definitely like a journey of in a roller coaster of emotions. But, you know, part of me is grateful for like how I think, you know, yeah, because sometimes I feel like it's beneficial to me. Um, the crazy thing is I feel like caring too much is not beneficial. You just get hurt. You just get hurt caring too much. You can also, at least for me, get hurt overthinking. But in terms of the way that I feel like it's beneficial, it's just possibly just being ahead. Like again, this depends on the context. So like, okay, maybe if it was at work or at school, I'm overthinking. I'm already thinking about maybe some things that weren't talked about. So it's like, okay, that's a beneficial way of just already being ahead or, thinking of such, even though we're not there yet. And since it's out there, it's like, okay, now others are thinking it too or aware of it. So like in those ways, sure, being prepared or overthinking or whatever can get me somewhere depending on what it is, depending on the focus. But other times, especially with people, it's like, and just like my actions, just me, yeah, it's like not beneficial at all. If anything, it's just hectic. And then I get anxiety, um, you know, um, because when you're just used to yourself, being alone by yourself, maybe, there's times where I went out here and there, but it's like at the end of the day, I go back to me and, with my own thoughts and stuff like that. So it's like when you know yourself and when you're so aware of such things and that's what you're used to, it's like after a while I just get desensitized to like socializing with people. And now that I'm not in college no more, graduated, and I'm not really much of a social person as much as I would like to be, as much as I dream to be. It's like I'm sort of back at stage one, but I would definitely love to work on it somehow, just to prove some of those thoughts I have wrong, and to also just like get it over with. Like, oh, I'm overthinking this interaction, but I did it and it actually wasn't that bad or whatever. Energy is also such a big thing, so it just depends on so much. Um, that I can overthink, which is crazy, and it's like it's almost a little sad, but it's like whatever. Um, Caring too much, I feel like that's just something I now just it's like deep down inside now, it's like, yeah, I feel like I'm gonna always be a person that cares a lot, but it's like, especially deep down, but it's like now on the forefront of it, it's like I keep stuff at a minimum. When you get hurt, it's like, fuck, well, fuck me, okay, right? And you just again back to that loop. So it's like just like a journey ahead. Now that it's like a new year, it's like, okay, it's just like a journey ahead that I'm actually excited for, to like work on, to you know possibly redo. I desperately just needed 2025 over with, especially during like the winter seasons, but you know, of that year. But yeah, I feel like in some ways there can be some personal pros and cons, but they're mostly cons of overthinking. And most of the time I just want to turn my brain off. Like, why? Like, especially if it's like I'm not even thinking about whatever I'm thinking about, but yet that thought, whether if it was a cringy moment years ago or something I said or whatever I did, pops up, and it's like, why? Like, why does that happen? I hate it. And it's crazy the fact that I can be many years later and yet I can still either regret or feel such way. And it's like, why? No one cares. Why should you? Just like a long process and back and forth of, those two things. And I guess like I'm making this video really because obviously I know I'm not the only one out there, even though there's many times where me, including other people, may feel like they're the only one out there, but yet here we are, here I am having the guts to like talk about it or make a video or, try to get used to whatever. Maybe this is step the first step to like trying to be more social, getting out there, you know, and just maybe using this as like a journal ish, you know. Um, I don't know, but yeah.